Leaving someone you still love is one of the hardest things a person can ever do. It's this space filled with so much confusion and sadness and just this nagging self doubt. So, today, let's talk about that experience. Not to find some magic cure for the pain, but to understand it, to validate it, and to figure out how to be gentle with ourselves while we're going through it. Hello. 2 weeks ago, I broke up with my boyfriend for many reasons. Yesterday, he came to our place to get some things and we talked again. He was trying to get me back. I felt very sad because I still love him, but I know that if we get back together, the same things will happen. From time to time, he behaves badly, and this is toxic for me and for our relationship. He shifts the responsibility to me, to stop him from being hot-tempered and from saying bad things. Yes, but I can't control his actions, and it just doesn't work. Today I feel bad, and I don't feel like doing anything. Just nothing. But of course, I go to work like everyone else. What do you do in such a situation? Sometimes I wonder if I'm wrong, but how could I be wrong when the facts are clear that they are and I can't live in rosy clouds anymore? He said that we won't be able to be friends because you didn't imagine me with another man. I'm sad because I care about him as a person. I've never had a relationship like this with another man and I'd be miserable without him. But what do you do when you're without a partner? How do you fill your time? The usual, going to work and household chores are clear. What do you do in your free time outside of work? For example, I read, watch movies, go in for sports, and what you like to do to distract you from your sadness. If that story hits close to home for you, I want you to hear this loud and clear. What you're feeling is not a sign of weakness, and it is not a mistake. It is the completely normal, deeply human response to a huge loss, and a really brave choice. So let's unpack why this is so tough, and why your decision was actually an act of strength. Okay, so let's start with the first, and maybe most crucial part, really understanding and validating the choice you made, even though it hurts so much right now. This right here, this is the heart of the matter. This wasn't a failure of love, not at all. It was you successfully preserving yourself. Choosing to protect your own well-being over a relationship that's causing you harm. That is an incredible display of self-respect, especially when you still have all these feelings of love. So how can both of these things be true at the same time? Well, it's because your heart and your head are processing two different but equally real realities. On one side, you've got your feelings, right? The love, the connection, the deep, deep sadness, all completely real. And on the other side, you've got the facts, the toxic patterns, the blame shifting, the recurring pain. And guess what? Those are also completely real. And that leads us to this huge point. Just because you love someone, that doesn't magically erase the reality of their behavior or the harmful dynamic of the relationship. The decision to leave wasn't made because the love was gone. It was made because the facts of the situation just became too loud to ignore. You chose to honor those facts. Now, to feel more secure in that choice, it can be really helpful to see the pattern you just stepped out of with total clarity. So let's dissect the mechanics of that toxic dynamic we heard about. Let's be crystal clear about this because it's a fundamental boundary in any healthy relationship. The idea that it's your job to stop your partner from losing their temper or saying hurtful things, that is a classic way to shift responsibility. The only person you can control is you, your actions, your reactions. Expecting you to control theirs is an impossible and deeply unfair burden. And what's so powerful about seeing it laid out like this is that you can recognize the predictable pattern. First, there's the bad behavior, the outburst. Then, what happens? The apology, the attempt to get you back, which gives you hope. But right after that, the responsibility gets shifted back to you to manage them. And that pretty much guarantees the cycle will repeat because the actual root of the problem, their behavior, is never dealt with. Recognizing this pattern is recognizing you were in a loop that you alone could never fix. And what about that really painful line? We can't be friends because I can't imagine you as someone else. I mean, on the surface, that can sound like this grand declaration of love. But let's look a little deeper. Often, a statement like that is less about love and more about possession. It suggests that your value to them is tied to their access to you, not to your happiness as a separate person. And that's just one more fact that validates your choice to leave. So, if the facts are so clear, why is it so easy to second-guess yourself? Let's get into the powerful psychological pull of the past and why it can sometimes feel like your own brain is working against you. This question. It's like a ghost that just haunts you in the quiet moments after a breakup, isn't it? It's this whisper of doubt that can feel so incredibly loud, making you question everything you thought you were so sure about. But there's a very real reason this happens.
Believe it or not, your brain is actually trying to protect you. You can think of it like a kind of post-breakup amnesia. It's a coping mechanism. To lessen that immediate, sharp pain of the separation, your mind will often soften the edges of the bad memories and put a spotlight on the good ones. This is a biological thing. It's not a sign you made the wrong choice. Your feelings are completely valid, but they don't change the facts that your decision was based on.
Understanding the why behind all these feelings is huge, but the how, how to just get through the day, is every bit as important. So let's shift gears and talk about some gentle, practical ways to navigate this period of intense grief. Okay, first and foremost, please give yourself permission to not be okay. This is not the time to reinvent your life or chase huge new goals. Right now, the goal is just to get through. Being on autopilot, doing the bare minimum, simply surviving the day, that is a win. Be patient with yourself. So the whole point here is to find strategies that don't try to erase the pain, but instead help you contain it. For example, giving yourself a specific time slot, say 20 minutes, to just feel sad can actually stop it from taking over your whole day. Simple physical things like walking or using your hands can pull you back into the present moment. And even just listening to a podcast can give you that feeling of human presence without the pressure of having to talk to anyone. Instead of searching for this big, abstract thing called happiness, just try looking for micro joys. These are tiny sensory moments of comfort. The warmth of your coffee cup, the feeling of a hot shower, crawling into clean sheets at night. These small anchors aren't going to fix everything, but they can make the present moment just a little bit more bearable. And right now, that is more than enough. It's also really helpful to separate two words that we tend to mash together: being alone and being lonely. Being alone is just a factual state. Right now, you don't have a partner. But being lonely is an emotion, a feeling of disconnection. And actually, after leaving the constant emotional chaos of a toxic relationship, being alone can be your path away from loneliness. It's a chance to finally come back home to yourself. And that brings us to our final and truly our most important point in all of this. The single most vital thing you can practice during this time is self-compassion. Please, just let this one sink in. You can't think your way out of grief. You can't rush healing. The goal is not to eliminate the pain, because that pain is a measure of how much you really cared. The real work is learning how to offer yourself kindness and patience and gentleness while you are hurting. So as we finish up, please remember this. The depth of your pain is not proof that you made a mistake. It is proof of how real it all was. The love was real, the connection was real, and so, of course, the loss is real. Your grief is a testament to your amazing capacity to love deeply. And your choice to leave, that's a testament to your growing capacity to love yourself.